Now today what we want to talk about, what it's like to go from being in a low state, which is, getting your mind out of a low vibration state. Maybe financially you're not at a great place right now. Maybe things in your life are really just going in a downward spiral, and going from that and moving up into a high vibration state where you are no longer thinking about things that you used to think about in your low vibration state. Now you're thinking about things that can move you forward, propel you into your future, and that can have an upward spiral in not just your finances, but your health, your wealth, your relationships, and also your spirituality. Now, this is going to be a video where we're going to go really deep into the rabbit hole, so I want you to stick here, right here with me. Guys on TikTok, major salute to you that's over here. Let me know your thoughts as well as the video progress. I see the likes over there. Also, those that's watching this on a replay, if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, feel free to go ahead and make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. One thing I've noticed, I was checking my analytics yesterday, and my analytics was saying that 17% of people that watches the video, 17% is not subscribed. Guys, do me a favor, subscribe. We're almost hitting the 1,000 mark right now. This is the goal, to hit 1,000 before the year end, and I know we're going to reach that hands down. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. Do it now. Do it now. Now let's talk about it. Going from a low vibration energy into a high vibration energy, and how we're going to do that, going from here and going to here. Now, this is important, and I tell you why, because if you're going to live in this low vibration state all your life, you're not going to see progress. You're not going to see progress in any area of your life, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And now, right now, maybe you're at the point of where you are just coasting through life. Maybe right now you are just wishing things can just get over and done with. Maybe you are wishing for someone just to help you, or wishing for a handout. You're just sitting there wishing over and over, wanneer gaan my skip inkom? When is my ship coming in? And you are sitting in a state of apathy, sitting in a state of victimhood. You're sitting there being a victim. Maybe this is you right now. We're going to go from there, and we're going to go into a place where that's going to take you out of it. And I want to show you a couple of things on how we're going to do that. But let me give you an analogy that's really going to kick off this video. Let's look at a tree. Let me see if there's a plant there at the back, but I don't want to go and then come back and then this video is all out of whack in terms of the focus. Let's take a tree. Now, we take a tree. Let's say before the tree is being planted, let's say the seed goes in the tree, right? And let's say we have a seed that allows the tree to bloom fast, but doesn't have the time it takes to build the roots. Right? So I give you a seed and say, here's a seed, and this seed is going to allow you to have a quick plant that's going to grow tall but has no roots. That's seed number one. Seed number two, I give you a seed and I say, here's a seed, and this seed is going to take a couple of months to grow, if not a year or two, it's going to grow. However, it's going to have major roots, deep roots, and it's going to grow also tall. What seed are you wanting? Are you wanting seed A that's going to grow quick? In a couple of days, you've got a major tree, but it hasn't got roots, or you're going to want the tree that takes a while, but has major roots. Now, that analogy is an analogy because when somebody gives you a handout, if you haven't worked for anything, right? Maybe you're in a victimhood mentality right now and you're just in a low place and you just want something, If you're in that state of mind right now, you are almost like, and I was there too, I was there too, and I'm going to share with you more details in terms of my situation. If you're in the space right now where you are just wanting a quick handout, a quick thing, maybe you don't want to put any effort into it. If you want your success to come quick, what's going to happen is a storm is going to come and it's going to blow the tree out very easily because it doesn't have any roots. Nothing went deep down. There was no work that has been done. There is no blood, sweat, and tears that has been done. And that is what you want right now. You want the quick fix, but you don't realize on the back end, you are screwing yourself over. You are screwing yourself over because if you haven't worked for it, you're not going to value it. And number B, you're going to take it so for granted. You're going to lose it so quick. You know, you and I both know millionaires, when they win the lotto, after 5 years, they are bankrupt because number one, maybe they had bad influences, but many a times it's a case of where, because they didn't work for the money flew, and they didn't value because they didn't work for it. Hence why I'm going to be putting out an ebook, and I'm going to charge for the ebook. I was first thinking, let me give the ebook for free, but I said no. If somebody's willing to pay for it, they are in a space of where they are really going to put the effort in because they're valuing it now. Whatever you pay for, you value. You and I both know that something that comes free, we don't value it, and that's just human nature. So we're gonna pay for that. Just a shameless plug. I'm gonna be releasing the 7 secrets to living a driven life on a daily, just following the Driven Daily brand. And that's going to come out. I'm hoping for it to come out before the end of this month. So just keep your eyes open. I'll let you also know when the launch is going to be. And I want you to get that book because that book is really going to open your eyes to see that there's another alternative to the way you are living right now. Let's get back. So the trees and the roots, anything in your life, I want you to work for it. Because when you work for it, you value it. And so, for example, I have a deal with my nephews right now back home in South Africa, and I told them that for Christmas, if they can give me 25 push-ups, right, solid push-ups, going up, going down, they will get the equivalent of 25 push-ups in money. So 25, they get 2,500, right? And any additional push-ups that they do, they are able to get 100 Rand extra for additional. So if they do 26 push-ups, they get 2,600, 27, 2,700, so on and so forth. And I could have just said, hey, for Christmas, I'm going to give you money. But I said no. I told myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, I sound so bad, I make them work for it, but you know what I mean. Because this is the reason why. You know, I don't know who said this. I think it was Gandhi. However, there was a quote that said, it's not the destination that is important, but who you become in the process that is more important. So it's not the destination, but who you become in the process. So for example, if I had to give my nephews just the money, there was no becoming in the process leading up to Christmas. You know what I mean? So for example, if you can't do 25 push-ups right now, and I say, hey, you've got 4 months to be able to do 25 push-ups, you can just imagine the discipline that needs to go in there, the work that needs to go in there, the frustration that goes in there when you're just starting out and saying, hey, I can only do one shoot. How am I going to make 25? And it's being pushed at the end of the day when it comes to Christmas time and they need to now do the test. They're going to be potentially more in shape. But for me, what's more important is them mentally getting in shape because now they have to push their mental limits. You see, a strong body is a strong mind. So them pushing themselves and now trying to make 25 push-ups, which seems impossible right now, but when they get the reward, it's going to be so much more valued. You know what I mean? So this is coming from a state of Maybe right now you're in a position of where you just want something for free. Maybe you just want a handout. Many times this comes with, with political ideologies like capitalism and communism, collectivism, individualism, where capitalism is all about, hey, let's put the blood, sweat, and tears in. Let's do what we have to do. It's cutthroat. Many a times that is the Western way of thinking. Maybe compared to the Eastern philosophy, where the Eastern philosophy is, hey, this is a collaborative. We're going to make sure that everyone is okay. We don't have to necessarily work as hard. We just want to make sure that everyone has enough. It's a very socialistic perspective, way of life. For me, neither one is right or wrong. There is positives in both. There's also negatives in both. I'm more of a centrist, where I believe that you have to have a bit of both, where you have to have the Eastern philosophy, where the Eastern philosophy is, hey, we're going to make sure that everyone is okay. We're going to make sure that our mental health is great, where we're not going to become, for example, and I'm just generalizing right here, many a times people in the West is potentially maybe more narcissistic because it's all about them, it's all about individualism. And then on the other side, it's more about it's more about, hey, we don't need money, to have a great life. There needs to be a middle ground. It's at least my way of thinking. And I'm sure many of you think this way too. And either way, we can still be friends, whichever way you feel, whichever spectrum you are on. Now, I'm saying this because, and that's important because having that Eastern philosophy way of thinking of where being mindful, doing meditation, making sure that your spiritual life is very paid attention to. And then we combine that with a little bit of the Western philosophy of where, hey, it's the hustle, it's the grind. I believe both is important. Both is important. It's all about where you come from. So many a times, and this is, of course, generalizing to the core, but just follow my train of thought right here. Many times those that are on the West are very much, we're going to hustle, we're going to grind because we want to prove something. We feel like we're not enough, and by getting possessions and getting the validation of others, that's the way of life because that fulfills us, right? That's on the Western side. The Eastern side says, hey, I'm enough. I don't need the external pleasures. I don't need to go down that hedonistic cycle. I'm enough just the way I am. That's the Eastern philosophy. And there's merit to both. What I'm saying is it's where you're coming from. So let's come from the Eastern philosophy of saying, hey, I'm enough. And I'm going to make sure that I protect my mental health. I'm going to make sure to take care of my body, not to run it down because I'm working 18, 20 hours a day trying to, prove myself. Coming from that space, but also taking the work ethic, of the Western philosophy and saying, hey, I'm going to hustle, I'm going to grind, I'm going to make sure that I give my all. You see, the danger of the Eastern philosophy is, if you are not careful, is that you get into a state of apathy where you think, hey, I'm enough and I don't need to do anything. And now you get into a state of apathy of, hey, whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to even lift a finger or work because I believe things are just going to come to me. And at the end of the day, you're sitting on a beach, homeless, surfing all day. And many people find that to be happy. They find fulfillment out of that. It just is what you want out of your life, right? If you want that, that's fine. That's for you. If that's not for you and you feel like you want more, all I'm saying is taking that Eastern philosophy, that solid Eastern philosophy, and combining it with a Western philosophy and saying, hey, I'm coming from a space of feeling complete already. I am enough. And using that work ethic of the Western, the hustle, the grind, the let's make that money, and adding both. Because there's nothing wrong. There's nothing, and don't let anyone shame you. Don't let anyone shame you for believing that, hey, you want to wake up early and start your hustle early, and go to bed at 10, 11 o'clock because you're just enjoying and you're coming from a space of flow. And you and I both know, like the book Flow, that says many of the greats come from a place of flow where they feel like, hey, what I'm doing right now is just who I am, who I'm meant to be, and I don't need a break. I don't need to even eat. I'm just going to focus on this because this brings me fulfillment. Of course, that's really extreme, but you get what I'm saying. There's a space of, I'm doing this because I'm loving it. I'm doing this because I feel complete, and I'm putting my all into this. And it doesn't feel like an uphill battle, grinding, getting high blood pressure, getting heart problems because the stress levels is so big, right? Both, combine them both, baby, and you become a super house. You become a super house. Those on TikTok right here, warm welcome. I see the comments over there. I'll definitely read them after this, but make sure you share this as we go even deeper down the rabbit hole. Those that's watching on here, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so. There's going to be content coming out on a daily that's really going to keep you driven. It's really going to get you out of the thinking that you are in right now, getting you out of that competitive mind state, getting out of that low vibration state, and really putting you into an upward spiral to say, hey, look, there's more to life than where I am right now. There's more to life than what I'm thinking. There's much more to life. If that is you, make sure to stick around. So let's recap. So we spoke about getting out of the environment that you're in right now, that is, and how nature really opens up and really connects you to a higher frequency. If you're currently in a space of where you're just in a concrete jungle and that's getting overwhelming, I want you to go outside. Take your shoes off, go outside, and really make sure you connect with the earth. Make sure you connect with the earth. Simple thing, a simple thing. Because many a times what happens is we get so focused and we get so locked in, and we realize that our life is out of balance. Life is out of balance. And I believe we can have it all. I truly believe we can have it all. Now, I might be wrong. However, this mentality is helping me. You see, especially with philosophy that we speak and you see on the internet, many of us are so in a competitive state where we feel like my way is the right way. I'm not going to listen to anyone else. My way is the right way. And if you don't believe in what I say, you're not going to be part of my tribe. You're not going to be part of my circle. For me, that state of mind has put me in a state of isolation. It's put me in a state of where nobody else can say anything to me, which can isolate and propel people away from you, right? So keep an open mind. Even if I'm wrong, I want to encourage you to let me know, and so we can have dialogue, right? We can have dialogue. And if we find that your way is better, I'll even make another video to say, hey, X, Y, and Z said this, and I think he or she's on the right track. And yep, I was actually wrong on this point. This is the way we should have dialogue. You know, this is the way we should have dialogue. So getting out of that low vibration state, getting out of that hell, that living hell on earth, and getting up to a place of where, look, nothing really bothers you to the extent it used to bother you. It's one of the signs that you know you're currently in a low vibration state when things easily bother you. You are very sensitive, very sensitive. There's the level of insecurity that occurs where, someone just says one thing and it trips you off for the rest of the day. That's when you know you are in a low vibration state. When you're in a high vibration state, of course, we all have our moments, right? We all have our days. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have my days where things just tick me off and it just spoils the rest of my day. But I had to train myself. And because the thing is, when you are easily triggered, it means somebody has control over you. And my question to you is, do you want people to have control over you? Like, really? Anything someone says has control over you? And everything that happens to you, they have control over you? Is that really how you want to live your life? Like, straight up. Like, it needs to be like a water off a duck's back. That's when you know you are living in a high vibration state. When things don't bother you as easily. Now, of course, we've got to use our mind right here, because of course there are serious things. When certain people does something to us, we've got to take it seriously. But I'm talking about the day-to-day things that gets most of us down. This is the vibration we need to walk with, we need to move in this earth with. When I look at Jesus in the Bible, and when he was on the cross, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do." And that, for me, that clearly showed that is the epitome of being in a high vibration state. They were literally crucifying Jesus. They were literally putting nails in his hands. They were whipping him. They were whipping him. They were whipping him. Imagine being whipped. Imagine being nailed to a cross and still saying, "I forgive you." What kind of person says that? "I forgive you," because you don't know what you do. Now, it's going to be tough if some of us are in that same predicament, which I hope not. I'm not sure which country you're living in that does that, but in our day-to-day lives, this is the mentality that we need to walk around with, where, hey, we say, hey, you know what? You did me bad. I can't let that affect me. T.D. Jakes said, unforgiveness is almost like drinking poison, expecting somebody else to die. Drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. And all we're saying on this video today is, when you live in a high vibration state, it's a case of where somebody does something to you, says something that you don't like. You can't let that control you. Be very intentional to protect your peace. Very intentional to protect your peace. Even at the expense of you looking like a fool, feeling like a fool, your peace is so much more important. So much more important. You see why? And this is the thing, many a times, because we are dying early, it's because of stress. It's because we're allowing things to affect us to the point of where it's creating now physical illnesses in us. And what we are saying today is, hey, look, we're saying, look, let's chill, okay? Let's take the edge off a bit. Let's relax a little. Let's stop being so tense in a contracted state where we are so contracted, where the energy in our body and in our head is so dense. And let's say, hey, let's move into an expansive state where we can breathe easily, where we can think clearly, where we can move, not feeling so contracted, but we have open body language. Buddha said that the quality of our lives is determined by the quality of our breathing. And this was really proposing the idea of meditation being really valuable. And when you really think about that, the quality of your breathing, when last have we actually breathed deep on a regular basis? And not when somebody tells us to, hey, breathe, or when we're in a meditation class. Even just right now, as you're watching this, just take a quick, deep breath. They call it the box breathing, 4x4. 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out. Box breathing. Let's try that. Breathe in. That's how you should do it. At least a portion of your day should remember, hey, the quality of my life is determined by the quality of my breathing. Just remember 4x4, the box breathing. All these techniques is really to get you out of that low vibration energy and to get you into a high vibration state where things just become effortless. Things just attract towards you. You are collaborative. You are making things so effortless and so easy. Conversations just flow so smoothly. You are out of your head. The tenseness is out of your body. You are breathing normally. Your mind is not in a state of shame or apathy, but you're moving up into love, peace, joy. That's my desire, is that as we continue to consume content like this, we get out of that low state and we go slowly but surely, we go up into that upward spiral of living a life we really desire, living a life we really are proud of, and that people look at us thinking, hey, wow, there's just such a lightness, such a freedom. This is my desire. I've got faith that this can be yours too. I got faith that we're going to create this reality together, one day at a time as we release these videos. Make sure to subscribe, of course. This is my desire for you. We are not here just to survive. We are here to thrive. And hey, let's go make some food right now, and let's see each other in the next video. I've got faith in you, and I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen one day at a time, all right? But hey, until next time, ons praat weer. Okay, mense? Hey, shoo. Kraak hier so, jong. I need to stretch more. Okay, ons praat weer. Ons praat weer.